to the Grammar Corner. This is the place for teachers to come when you feel cornered by grammar. So today we're going to look at tense and aspect. First of all, tense is a word that we use to support our illusion that we have control over time. It tells when an action or event occurred. An aspect describes the way we view an action or a state in terms of the passing of time. So it's a point of view from the speaker's point of view of when the event happened. For example, the perfect aspect describes something when we are looking back at it. This is because we always think that the past was better than the present. In other domains, this is called nostalgia. The progressive or continuing aspect is when we are talking about something happening when we are in the middle of it. This is because when we are in the middle of something, we often wish it were over. But it keeps progressing from one thing to another, and we have no control over the event. We are sent barreling along over the present moment, grabbing for some aspect to help us. We think maybe things will be better in the future, and then we discover that in English there is no future tense. What? You say no future in English? What am I doing in this field anyway? And you feel every aspect of your body tense with terror at this realization that there is no future tense in English. You are cornered by grammar. English has only the present and the past. How can I get home? Is there no tomorrow? Not to worry. First, let's have a little experience. Notice your breathing. You are breathing. Present continuous. Take a deep breath in. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Present simple. Now let your breath out. Notice the verbs I used. Take, inhale, are, hold, exhale, let. Those verbs are all in the present tense. And when I gave you the direction, the time was now, also called the present tense. However, that is now in the past. So I could say, you took a breath, you inhaled, you held your breath, you let your breath go. And I was also commenting as you were doing, I was telling you that you were doing it at that time. But now I'm doing the past continuous. Very exciting, isn't it? All the ways we can jump around and look at what we're doing. As a little aside, here is a juicy bit of vocabulary that I found in my research. The word is inflection. Now, I always thought inflection had to do with the tone of your voice or the pitch of your voice, so that when you ask a question, your voice rises up and so on and so forth. But guess what? There is another totally different meaning of the word inflection that grammarians love to throw around to impress us with their erudition, but kind of hide the meaning. Inflection in tenses refers to a suffix that tells you something about the word's grammatical behavior. I found that out in this book here. Went through all the others first. For example, S on the end of a noun tells you it is plural, and ED can tell you that it is in the past, or sometimes that it has suddenly decided to become an adjective. As another aside, this is why our students have so much trouble. They just don't understand the behavior of the words. One day it is a verb, and then it puts on an ing, and it's a continuous verb, and then it becomes a noun with the ing. A little later, it drops the ing and adds an ed, and it becomes an adjective, and they are thoroughly frustrated. Most of their languages are much more inflected than English. English is called a weakly inflected language. Now that's something to think about. Let's get back to tense and aspect and the shattering realization that there is no future in English. We are all going to die. That makes me think of Bill Murray and What About Bob? That is the only certainty in the future, because this is something no one wants to really stand up to and look boldly in the face, and also because we really really we are innately life-affirming. Well, the makers of English have come to the rescue, and they have come up with a very clever way of talking about the future with no illusions. We use the base word, and then we add a modal of possibility, or other useful words, which we won't go into right now. Sometimes we use the present continuous because it seems like the present is going on forever. So let's take a look at this brilliant coup with a present simple verb and a modal of possibility. I will see you tomorrow. What tense is the main verb? Present. Yes, even in the future tense we only have the present, because all we really have is now, and the past experience of now. These are some of the amazing aspects of English that I offer to you for your mulling and reflection. Always remember the amazement of the language. Aspect is just the point of view of the speaker. Well, so far we have managed to lasso and corral, as English teachers and English speakers, 12 accepted relationships of time and point of view. And these, in most circumstances, are called the 12 tenses of English. Sort of like the 12 apostles. You can find them in any grammar book. Be assured it takes years of stumbling around in life, learning language, and making mistakes before a person can use all 12 tenses to communicate. Therefore, as a teacher, it is important to celebrate confusion and mistakes as part of the glory of the miracle of human communication. The simple present and the present continuous are two wonderful opportunities for celebration. First, there's nothing simple about the present simple, and the present continuous is used for now, for temporary, and for the future. That seems to cover everything except the past. Have your muscles tensed up at the thought of trying to teach this to your students? Well, let's close with a little experiential learning. I hope you are sitting in your chair, present continuous. If not, please sit, simple present, in a chair so your spine is upright. Take a deep breath in and count to 4. And then exhale, counting to 6 as you exhale. Notice the tension leaving your body. One more time. This time, take another breath in and say, I am inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4. I am exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There now. You have just experienced the simple present and the present continuous. And don't you feel good? And that was in the past. At least from my point of view, it was a past experience. Now, it is a past experience now. Well, that's it for now. So be sure to come back tomorrow for our exciting and dynamic investigation of the lexical aspect of verbs, dynamic verbs, activity verbs, achievement verbs, and accomplishment verbs. When you feel cornered by grammar, just remember it is doing its best to bring comfort like a bridge over troubled waters. And in order to bring some order to the discomfort and chaos of the human experience, so that we can share and communicate our experience of the miraculous and glorious, as well as the good, the bad, and the ugly of life, without being too tense.